You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It's takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
My name is Jessie, and I'm proud of the life I have, surrounded by military and aware just how big the world really is. I have a unique perspective on life and the world around us. If you're willing to listen, I'll tell you how I see it, and I won't pull any punches. This is my POV, which stands for Point of View. Alright, how's everybody doing out there tonight? Yes, I miss you when we're not talking. What a set of developments over the weekend. I could not have predicted this. It's a set of chaos, really. You want to know what it is? Well, I am talking about Russia and North Korea. I don't know how much you guys have been keeping up. I know a lot of people disconnect over the weekends. So, just to remind you guys, you can listen to me live every Monday through Thursday on KLRNRadio.com, where liberty and reason still reign, and Jessie's POV is available on most of your favorite podcast locations. If there isn't one, shoot me an email. I'll talk to if it isn't somewhere you want to see it, shoot me an email. I'll talk to station manager Ann, and we'll see about getting it over there. All right. Now, I know right now there is absolutely zero chance I will get through my show prep tonight. Sounds like a book. Feels like a book. And some of it I read for background noise. Some of it I read out of my own curiosity. You know, I do try and stay informed. This one needs a stapler. I'm not kidding. What would you call 11 pages? Yeah, needs a stapler. I'll get to that later. That one's mostly background. This one is the the Iran nuclear deal and the upcoming talks with North Korea. Then we have ranking North Korean official apparently visiting China. Yes. All right. Then we have North Korea seeks help to stamp out bourgeois culture. Okay, this is a country that starves its own people? What? Yeah, we'll get there. More about KJU possibly visiting China. I have a couple stories on the Syrian civil war and Libya, but I'm probably not going to hit the Middle East tonight. I'm probably going to stick with Russia and North Korea, because boy, oh boy, do I have some doozies. Yeah. Alright. For those of you who live under a rock, and I hope none of my listeners do, a lot of diplomats from a lot of countries have been getting the boot because of the Skripal incident. The what? The poisoning of the former Soviet or Russian spy in the UK. You remember what I'm talking about now? Do I really need to go back that far and dig it up for you? I don't think so. But just in case you forgot, I'm looking for a quick audio clip. And a lot of Theresa May's statements are great. I'm looking for a good one. I'm somewhat playing audio clip roulette. Here we go.
It is now clear that Mr. Skripal and his daughter were poisoned with a military-grade nerve agent of a type developed by Russia. This is part of a group of nerve agents known as Novichok.
Alright, that's about as much as we need to hear out of that audio clip, just to remind you what I'm talking about. Now, what's happened since then? A lot of diplomats are getting the boot from a lot of countries. The UK kicked out 23. Yes, 23 diplomats. No joke. And the US kicked out 60. 60. Which actually ended up that the Seattle consulate was closed. Now, while this did cause problems with some people who were trying to get visas and things like that, it was an act mostly of showing people how displeased they are. Now, what's going to happen? Well, usually what happens in these cases is we kick out a bunch of their diplomats, they kick out a bunch of ours. It just happens that way. I don't know how else to put it, but that's what happens. So, 12 Russian diplomats at the United Nations in New York and 48 at the Russian Embassy in Washington face expulsion by the U.S. government for what senior administration officials describe as covert intelligence operations that undermine U.S. national security. The U.S. government also ordered the Russian consulate in Seattle closed by April 2nd. Senior administration officials say they believe it served as a key outpost on Russia's intelligence operation, in part because of its proximity to a U.S. submarine base, as well as Boeing's manufacturing facilities. Monday's actions, yes, today's actions, were in response to the nerve agent attack in Salisbury, England. Now, Novichok is a nerve agent that is deadly. Now, Skripal hasn't died, which means one of two things. Either they weren't expecting him to get treatment in a timely manner, which is entirely possible, or he didn't get a strong enough dose. There's only two reasons you don't die from a nerve agent attack. And unfortunately, those are the only two. Other countries that announced they would expel diplomats or intelligence agencies include Germany, France, Italy, the Netherlands, Denmark, Czech Republic, Finland, Romania, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Croatia, Sweden, Ukraine, and Canada. Of course, Putin, and I've got a little bit of a sound. We're going to see what happens here. Yes, Russia is working on retaliatory measures. And of course, they state they had nothing to do with the Skripals. Womp womp, fail, I don't buy it. Now, Russia's ambassador to the U.S., Anatoly Antonov, said he was called to the State Department Monday morning and informed of the expulsions by Wes Mitchell, who is Assistant Secretary of State for Europe. Antonov said he stressed that what the United States of America is doing today is they're destroying what little is left in the Russia-U.S. relations. All right. I don't see a whole lot left. But out and don't come back. European policymakers acknowledged expulsions were limited in each of their countries, but said the international sweep would force Russian intelligence services to think twice before conducting similar attacks in the future. Now, this isn't the first time Russia has allegedly conducted covert attacks on Western soil, and governments often flounder about how to respond. In this case, I'm going to say a large portion of the Western world united and responded. It is unusual, and it's a wide-ranging expression of solidarity against Russia following the attack. The EU and the United States also coordinated economic sanctions against Russia after the Kremlin annexed the Crimea from the Ukraine, but subsequent actions have been more piecemeal. Today's actions make the United States safer by reducing Russia's ability to spy on Americans and to conduct covert operations that threaten America's national security. Now, just to remind you, here's what the UK did after looking for the audio clip. Here's the long history of Russian aggression that has taken place recently.
Mr. Speaker, this action has happened against a backdrop of a well-established pattern of Russian state aggression. Russia's illegal annexation of Crimea was the first time since the Second World War that one sovereign nation has forcibly taken territory from another in Europe. Russia has fomented conflict in the Donbass, repeatedly violated the national airspace of several European countries, and mounted a sustained campaign of cyber espionage and disruption. This has included meddling in elections and hacking the Danish Ministry of Defence and the Bundestag, among many others. During his recent State of the Union address, President Putin showed video graphics of missile launches, flight trajectories and explosions, including the modelling of attacks on the United States, with a series of warheads impacting in Florida.
All right, I call that an aggressive act. I mean, come on. It sounds almost like North Korea did it. By the way, Russia is trying to warm up to North Korea. They're trying to cozy on up to them. So it looks like Russia's going to be helping North Korea evade sanctions. Yes. Now, I don't have proof of that, but trust me, I am keeping my eye out on it. Because what's Russia doing now? Oh yeah, they haven't backed down. They haven't shut up. They're not taking it lightly. And I have no doubt they are going to retaliate some way, somehow. However, I don't think it's going to be a hot war, okay? I don't think anybody wants that. None of the leaders in the world want a shooting war. Could it be cyber attacks? Sure. Could it be cozying up to North Korea? You betcha. And on that front, Russia is trying to bridge the gap with North Korea. What do I mean? Well, Russia and North Korea share a border. It is 11 miles long. So it's just a small section. But the border with Russia is 11 miles long, following the Tumen River and its estuary in the far northeast. There is one lone crossing dubbed the Friendship Bridge. It opened in 1959 and offers the two nations a fairly basic rail connection. This week, among the alleged calm on the Korean Peninsula, Russian representatives traveled to North Korea to discuss an idea. Let's open another bridge. Yes. The planning appears to be at a preliminary stage, but it shows that Russia and North Korea are looking towards a trading future beyond sanctions and military tensions. Or, in my mind, to evade sanctions and or be accessible during a military operation. There are 23 automobile checkpoints between North Korea and China, and not one with Russia. Currently, when importing goods from Russia's Far East, they do not come across the border with Russia. They come through China. This makes it take significantly longer. The Russian representative at the meeting was the Minister for Development of Russia's Far East, and suggested starting with a semi-permanent bridge of pontoons. The Russia-North Korea summit caught the attention of North Korean news, which reported the two nations would push ahead with the new border crossing. Okay. Now, first of all, it may be more symbolic. It may be. But there is history. Remember, history, you have to understand the history to understand the current event. During the Cold War, the Soviet Union, aka what Russia used to be, was easily North Korea's most important financial ally, accounting for as much as half of North Korea's foreign trade. You heard me, half. During the 1970s and 80s, it was only after the end of communism that Moscow and Pyongyang drifted apart. When President Boris Yeltsin sought a closer relationship with Seoul. So, like I said, there is a history of Russia and North Korea trading. And as regular listeners to my show will recall, they tried a ferry. It was shut down due to lack of use. And by the way, don't forget, Russia has essentially become another internet service provider for North Korea. Oh yeah, remember that one? And when Vladimir Putin took power, he visited Pyongyang in 2000 and received adulating praise from North Korean state media. Now, the economic links between the two nations didn't increase by much. In 2013, Russia was just approximately 1% of North Korea's foreign trade. So, here's what I'm thinking. And this is speculation, my friends. Here's what I'm thinking. Russia and North Korea. Well, North Korea, when Kim Jong-un meets with Trump, he's going to ask for a lifting of trade sanctions, like something like the Iran nuclear deal. The Iran nuclear deal is crap. I don't see Trump agreeing to it. All right. Now, this bridge could legitimately be just a plan for the future, so that when North Korea comes out of isolation, the bridge is there. It could also be the land method to send troops into North Korea to help them attack the United States should things turn hot on the Korean Peninsula. It could also be a way to surreptitiously get things around sanctions. Now, as far as tourism between Russia and North Korea, it happens so infrequently, border guards are confused by it. If it's going to be built, I don't think the private Russian investors are going to put up the money. It's going to have to be a Russian state-funded project because it's too tense on that peninsula right now. There is no way to determine what is going to happen. All right, folks. We've almost reached the commercial break. Where does this leave things? Well, it leaves us going back to looking at the Iran nuclear deal. Oh, and by the way, Daedong Station, large screens blocking views have been put up in China. Why? Well, they were installed a week ago in China, and police have been conducting drills with traffic barricades. Now, what these screens do, and they're metal, thank you, is they block views of any trains that cross the Sino-Korean Friendship Bridge. Since then, rumors. Yes, the rumor mill has been swirling. Where is Kim Jong-un? Is he in China? Is he visiting China on his way to Russia? Sources speculate the trains were headed to Shenyang, a major city in northeastern China. This is a very unusual movement. Another thing that was also rather intriguing, there was a North Korean military vessel near the Sino-Korean Friendship Bridge. Now, similar preparations were witnessed in 2011 when a train carrying Kim Jong-il crossed the river. Yeah, that's the former leader. I know, there's a lot of Kims in this. Now, who knows what's going on? Just remember, Kim Jong-un has not visited with any heads of state since he took office. And I find that particularly interesting. All right, as always, you can follow me on Twitter at Radio Host Jesse. Don't forget to follow the station on Twitter at KLRNRadio. And we have got to pay those radio station bills. Yes, we do. So, we're going to go pay those bills, and I will see you on the other side.
You're out here acting so tough, and now I'm calling your bluff. Black hoods and no faces. We'll take it out to the streets. That's where we can meet. You bring your sticks, I'll bring gauges. Just don't know what you've been asking for. This means war. Line 'em up, knock 'em down. This means war.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk, or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is, if getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
Well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. You can stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down.
All right, thank y'all for hanging in there with me while I paid those radio station bills. All right, so let's recap. Russia is taking a diplomatic beating. Yes, diplomatic. Because many, many countries, including ours, are kicking out diplomats from Russia. Now, that's not the only thing going on, so don't think it is. Then, at the same time, Russia is cozying up to North Korea, ahead of the North Korea-U.S. talks. All while Iran is, I guarantee you, while they may not be violating the letter of the Iran nuclear deal, they are looking for ways and are evading it. Remember, they are, seriously, they are they're building bases in Syria and Yemen. These are places that are not covered by the agreement, because what is covered by the agreement is within the borders of Iran. So by building a base in a foreign country, they can put anything they want on it. Oh yeah, and we can't go inspecting it. Now, we could also bomb it, but... Now, let's go back to that mysterious train ride. Okay? Let's talk about it. It's an old-style green train that is said to resemble one that has transported North Korean leaders on foreign trips. And people are saying it's arrived in China. And that is prompting speculation Kim Jong-un himself is in Beijing. Now there's a few videos and photos of the train, But there is a huge security presence, and there's also a large security presence at a Beijing guest house where North Korean leaders have previously stayed. You add all this up, and it sounds like Kim Jong-un could be in the Chinese capital ahead of his planned summit with South Korean President Moon and potential meeting with President Trump. Now, Kim has not met with any foreign heads of state since succeeding his father in 2011. None. Okay? Now, this train is rumored to be armored and is rumored to be staffed by beautiful lady conductors and feature things such as live lobsters and wine. It also has conference room, an audience chamber, bedrooms, satellite phone connections, flat screen TVs, and more. So just because they're on the train, they're not out of touch. While it is something I'd expect to see or hear from a world leader on a moving vehicle, it makes me wonder. It really makes me wonder. And even Seoul is wondering. Because remember, relations between North Korea and Beijing have been strained over North Korea's pursuit of its nuclear missile programs. And China, North Korea's big brother, has joined the international sanctions on Pyongyang. Now, this is something that is very rare. There was also reports that a vehicle bearing North Korean diplomatic license plates was spotted at the Great Hall of the People in Beijing among very tight security. North Korea's media is being tight-lipped and not saying a thing. So, this is either, I'm going to say it's either another member of the Kim family, such as his sister, or it's him. And I'm thinking at this point, it is Kim Jong-un in China. Unfortunately, there's no way to know for sure. Now, what does the Iran nuclear deal, which isn't worth the paper it's printed on, have to do with talking with Kim Jong-un? Well, I've said it's a bad deal. I'm not the only one. Many have said it's a very weak deal. And I'm not trying to get too much into U.S. politics here, but we're going to do just a little bit because you have to know what's happening to be able to, what's already happened to be able to deal with what's going on. Now remember, Iran's not exactly buddy-buddy with us anyway. And Iran is, well, point blank, Iran wants to get around that nuke deal. They may have signed it, but they don't want to live up to it. And here's an oldie but a goodie.
The representative of the Israeli regime made unfounded allegations against Iran.
Iran is playing the role of distractor, and that is the wrong audio clip. But it is true that Iran is trying to distract the world. They're going, look over here, look over here, look over here. And some people are looking, but remember, we can focus on more than one object at a time. And remember that protest in Iran, these protests earlier this year? Iran fears its people. Let me see if I got the right audio clip.
All these brigades have come out to the streets. They've come out against the leader. Political prisoners must be freed. Independence, freedom, Iranian Republic. Neither Gaza nor Lebanon, my life only for Iran. Let go of Syria, think of us. We will die, but we'll take Iran back. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. We're all together. And in reference to the Supreme Leader, quote, feel some shame. Let go of the country. Those are not my words. Those are not the words of the United States. Those are the words of the brave people of Iran.
Yes, Iran does fear its people. And President Trump made that very same point at his address at the United Nations General Assembly.
It is time for the entire world to join us in demanding that Iran's government end its pursuit of death and destruction. It is time for the regime to free all Americans and citizens of other nations that they have unjustly detained. And above all, Iran's government must stop supporting terrorists, begin serving its own people, and respect the sovereign rights of its neighbors. The entire world understands that the good people of Iran want change. And other than the vast military power of the United States, that Iran's people are what their leaders fear the most.
And that sums up Iran. Now, back to the nuclear deal. Because I think this is what Kim Jong-un is going to try and negotiate. A deal very similar to what Iran got. A deal with a sunset clause. A deal that will allow them to still hide their developments and test in secret despite repercussions. However, we all know Trump has said he's going to decertify and pull out of the deal in May. Rumors have been coming from Israel, one of our staunchest partners, who originally opposed the deal. Yes, the U.S. lifted financial restrictions on Tehran in exchange for the country freezing its nuclear program. And Trump plans to meet with Kim Jong-un. Excuse me, Mr. Frog was trying to insert his 2 cents, and he can see his way on out. So, Trump is planning to meet with Kim Jong-un by the end of May, even though there's been no date set. So, do we think that recent changes are a good thing? Well, I can tell you this. Based on public comments, John Bolton does not support the Iran nuclear deal. Now, tariffs, I believe, are going to play a role here. Yes, the tariffs. They are Trump's ace in the hole. Why do I say that? And I don't want to be discussing as much domestic politics as I am. However, in this case, I must. Trump is going to go to these countries and say, you want those tariffs lowered or eliminated? You will support this. The tariffs on China could also arrange to be eliminated. For China not backing North Korea in an attack we start. That would lead to a proxy war because I'm almost certain Russia, who has flown aircraft into South Korea's airspace, would have no problem sending troops through their 11-mile border. Now, I don't think the tariffs are a mistake, at least not in terms of a negotiating chip. They give Trump a position of strength on the world stage, and that is something that is not always seen. Now, this doesn't take away the fact that Kim Jong-un has shown he has the Hwasong intercontinental ballistic missile. That's not taking back away from the fact that that missile could reach the United States today. And don't forget, the exercises with South Korea will be starting on the 1st of next month. North Korea has always vehemently hated, spoken out, and often protested these exercises with missile launches. Will Kim Jong-un be able to keep his hands off the launch button? Only time will tell. Now, if Trump pulls out of the Iranian nuclear deal, it would impact the negotiations with Kim Jong-un. But, could this dialogue be a test to see what North Korea is willing to offer? Of course. My hopes for what comes out of this meeting are actually excessively low. I see very little coming out of it. Obviously, Kim Jong-un is likely to demand U.S. troops be removed from South Korea. That would be a foolish move on the part of the United States. We have approximately 27,000 to 28,000 U.S. troops stationed in South Korea at any time. This doesn't count the approximate 50,000 that protect Japan. Yes, must be a strategy behind what North Korea is doing. But I don't see North Korea being willing to give up their long sought after nuclear weapons in exchange for trade or money. I see them using these negotiations as yet another stall tactic. Of course, nuclear discussions are among the most complex conversations with North Korea. And, need I remind you, North Korea has gone back on its word as often as Iran. Now, I have a couple of other news stories I do want to briefly touch on. I'm just reshuffling my papers. All right. First of all, Seoul plans to seek, in its negotiations with North Korea, a security guarantee with North Korea. They also would like to see North Korea give up their nuclear weapons. And protection and guarantees there will be no attack. Why would you believe a nation that has always gone back on its word? What North Korea wants is quite simple. It wants to be recognized as a normal state, not a pariah, and not an outcast. It wants normal international relations, because as bleak as its economy is, it is suffering further. By the way, those tariffs I mentioned, China could be attempting to mend fences with the United States because they may be in talks to buy U.S. semiconductors. China currently purchases semiconductors from South Korea and Taiwan. And Beijing is also exploring reducing Chinese taxes on imported cars. These are just some of the points that China Vice Premier Liu and U.S. Secretary of Treasury Steve Mnuchin discussed over what has been described as a heated phone call. Of course, Liu told Mnuchin that U.S. tariffs violate global trading regulations, and China is ready to defend its interest. I don't know what the tariffs are going to look like. No one does. But it's safe to say no country wants their products heavily taxed to be imported. All right. I am just about out of time, so I'm going to leave you, unfortunately, with a story that made my blood boil. Holocaust survivors, much as their World War II counterparts from the military, are dying off. There was a murder in France over the weekend of a Holocaust survivor. And French authorities often shy away from the word anti-Semitism. However, what else could this attack have been? This is not the first. I pray it is the last. Muriel Knoll was stabbed multiple times and set on fire in her Paris apartment on Friday. Jewish advocacy groups are calling it an anti-Semitic hate crime. What makes this most interesting is this is not the first Jewish person to be brutally murdered in this part of France. There was an Orthodox Jewish physician and kindergarten teacher you can add to that list, and their deaths were in 2017, and equally as brutal. By the way, the woman's body was thrown out of the apartment after she was dead. This is nothing but barbaric. By the way, there was another one in 2006. I don't know how France can stand by and watch this happen. All right, folks, as always, you can follow me on Twitter at Jesse's POV. You can shoot me an email at the station at jessespov@klrnradio.com. And on that note, friends, I will see you tomorrow night.